putting up videos on the YouTube once again. I'd taken a hiatus for some time. That's because I was too preoccupied with other things, and as a result, I could not engage with you people. I'm glad that I'll be interacting once again with you, and I'll be obviously putting up videos on a regular basis now that there's a lot of cricket coming up in the next few months. I start off by putting up videos with the start of the India England series. It's a great series that is going to be a fantastic one. It's going to be an absorbing one. The only thing is that we are perhaps a little bit apprehensive as to how the team will fare because three big guns have retired from Test cricket: Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Ravichandran Ashwin. So, which leaves a big void both in the bowling and the batting department. But there's enough and more talent in India. I'm sure that the youngsters who have forced their way into the side, or the people who have broken back into the side with huge runs like Karun Nair, will stand up and be counted. Of course, the apprehension is always there on a tour of England because the conditions are quite tricky there. But things are a lot more different these days as compared to how they were in the past. And hopefully, the Indian team will draw inspiration from a lot of great deeds of the Indian cricketers in the bygone decades. Let's see how this team stacks up. There's a lot of talk about how the batting is perhaps thin and also the bowling lacking the teeth. And I'm sure that this particular squad will obviously find ways and means to ensure that they are well prepared and they're also well stacked up to overcome the challenges in England. Let's look how the playing 11 can be managed. If I were to be running the show, I'd perhaps have Gill and Jaiswal at the top. That's a fairly obvious choice because Gill has done well in the top three for India in the past. There's some talk of him playing at number four, but that will necessitate a lot of changes and tweaking around quite a lot of things in the batting order. If you have Jaiswal and Gill at the top of the order, then we perhaps can have KL Rahul at number three, and then at number four we can always have Karun Nair, who's been in great nick in the last couple of years in just about every format. His consistency has been gobsmacking. And then we'll have Rishabh Pant at five, and we know what a match winner he can be, and he's done extraordinarily well abroad, especially in test matches. And then six will obviously be Nitish Kumar Reddy because he's done fairly well on the tour of Australia and he can also give some useful overs to his side. And that leaves obviously Jadeja at number seven, who's been a number one all rounder for quite a while on the ICC list and he's been performing very, very consistently in just about all the departments in cricket. Now, the bowling combination will be slightly tricky because we got quite a good set of bowlers in the squad. Fast bowlers have to play a major role in England, and I'm looking at a combination of obviously Bumrah spearheading the attack, and I'll definitely have Ashdeep because not only does he provide variety by way of being a left arm seamer, he's also grown quite a lot in stature and also in terms of developing his craft. He's been phenomenal in the last few seasons, and he's one who can extract pace, bounce, and make the ball swing and seam as well. So that'll make him quite a handful, and importantly, he can give as many overs as the captain wants of him because he's extremely fit. And then you have a choice of playing either four seamers and Jadeja, probably three seamers along with Kuldeep Yadav and Jadeja. That's a call they'll have to make, and that will depend on the conditions that would be prevailing at the time they take this decision at Leeds. Leeds can always be tricky. It can be quite challenging for the batters. On the first day, there'll be a lot of swing and seam. And if the curator resorts to leaving a lot of grass on the surface, the Indian team might probably go with four paces and just about Jadeja in his lineup. But there again, it can be a bit of an overkill if Nitish Kumar Reddy is capable of giving about 15 to 20 overs in an innings if need be. But otherwise, obviously, Bumrah will be the number one choice. Ashdeep will be my second choice. And then it has to be Siraj because he's a captain's delight. He can give a lot of overs and he'll run in hard and he'll give the same effort from ball number 1 to ball number 120 on the same day. That's the kind of enthusiasm he has, that's the kind of fitness he has, and that's the kind of attitude he has. This will mean that Prasidh Krishna has to perhaps sit out, and also maybe Shardul Thakur if the Indian team management looks at going with Kuldeep Yadav as well. I say Kuldeep Yadav because the Headingley pitch can become good for batting and later on maybe um, helpful to the spinner. And Kuldeep Yadav is one who's done extraordinarily well in Test cricket, and he's also a bit of a bugbear for the batters from abroad because he's a wrist spinner and he's one who's worked hard when he was left in the lurch, and he's made a grand comeback, and he's looking really good when he bowls in any format. And he's also one who can win you matches. He's got a good strike rate. And yes, the argument would be that why should you have another left-arm spinner when there's Jadeja? But again, there are two different kinds of bowlers. One is a wrist spinner, and Jadeja is obviously one who would hold one end up, and he would be looked upon to contribute more with the bat and on the field. So that makes it a very tight 11. In case Kuldeep Yadav is not preferred, what do we do then? Then we perhaps have to decide between Prasidh Krishna and Shardul Thakur. Yes, the temptation would be great to think of what Shardul can do with the bat, but I think test matches are won on the basis of picking up wickets, bowling the opponents out. This is not to say that Shardul Thakur can't pick wickets, but Prasidh Krishna has been bowling really well since he's come back to cricket after that injury at the end of the previous season. He's worked hard during the off season last year, and he started from the Duleep Trophy, and he's gradually gained confidence. He's looked really good, and he's perhaps been one of the best bowlers seen in the current edition of IPL. Yes, IPL can be misleading because there the bowler gets to bowl only 4 overs, and after which he'll have a bit of a break, or probably the team management will have other options to pick from. But here he's got to bowl a lot of overs, and he can do that. He's capable of doing that. The inclusion of Ashit Rana is again going to make the team management think a lot. But again, he's obviously young, he's promising, and he's perhaps there to gain experience and become a better bowler. Okay, this is what my 11 would be, but in case the team management wants to look at other options, what do they have? They have Sai Sudarshan, but where's he going to bat? If Gill is going to drop down the order, then you're going to have the choice of either making Sai Sudarshan play, or perhaps Abhimanyu Ishwaran might get a look in. Abhimanyu Ishwaran has been a curious case because he's got a lot of runs. He's been a part of the squad on a regular basis in the last few months, but he's still not been given chances to display his capability at the international level. And this at times can pose a bit of a problem when the selectors sit down to pick a squad. If a player is being picked on the basis of his performances in domestic cricket and at the A level, and the selectors think is capable of delivering the goods, and the team manager does not give an opportunity, then it becomes a bit of a catch-22 situation. This is what has been going on with Abhimanyu Ishwan for a while. But let's see, this is a big series. It's a 5-match series, and hopefully he will get his opportunities. And if and when he gets, I hope that he grabs his opportunities. But there again, if he doesn't get a look in first up, others grab the opportunities they get at the start of the series, then it's going to be difficult for him to break through if the batters find form first up. But then, of course, once again, it's a win-win situation for the team management. If the others find form at the start of the season, then their headaches are solved, and it's also going to be providing a big fillip for the team. All in all, it's going to be very interesting. It's also very important for the team management to pick the right 11. And let's see how they go about picking 11 in England, because there a lot will depend on how the conditions are on the morning of the match. And such is the nature of weather in England. It can change in half an hour's time after the toss, and then it can make the team management completely look sorry, because it's a situation where they can't really predict the weather in England. But be that as it may, I'm sure that this team has the wherewithal in terms of bowling at least. And if the batters put their hands up and deliver the goods, then I'm sure that India is going to give a very good account of itself under the new captain. It's a new era, and obviously, quite a lot of pressure will be there on the young captain and the others in the team. But it's all a matter of just them taking some time to settle down and working things out. I'm sure that with the exposure they have these days in the IPL and otherwise of playing with and against the best in the business, they would have picked up quite a lot of things. As far as Shubman Gill is concerned, we'll have to back him because he is given the mantle of captaincy at a very, very crucial time. By that I mean that Indian team is in a transition phase, and it's a phase where things may not happen immediately, but we'll need to be patient and give not only Shubman Gill but also the rest of the members of the side some time. Hopefully, they'll crack the code soon enough, and we'll all have a lot to cheer about very soon.